Locked On Cowboys, your daily Dallas Cowboys podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Locked on Cowboys. Locked on Cowboys.
Welcome back to the Locked On Cowboys podcast, presented by On Location. On Location is the official hospitality partner of the NFL. It's the only place to score a once-in-a-lifetime Super Bowl ticket and experience package. Visit onlocationexp.com/SB56 for more information or search Super Bowl On Location. I am Marcus Mosher. He is Landon McCool, and we are previewing the Cowboys Week 15 game against the New York Giants. Landon, how you doing today, sir?
Doing well. You know, we got the last weekend before Christmas, and so hopefully, though I know that you haven't, hopefully you've gotten all your Christmas shopping done. But Marcus just told me that he, like a psychopath, waits until the last minute to do all his shopping. You're going to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Jingle All the Way, where you're like throwing elbows and everything to make sure you get the what is it, the Supersonic Man? I can't.
Turbo Man.
Turbo Man. That's right. Turbo Man. Yeah, that's right.
It's an awful movie, by the way. You know what I wish I had, Landon, to help me power through this podcast, though? I wish I had a medium Coke provided by the New York Giants football team.
No, it's a Pepsi, isn't it?
Pepsi.
Which to me is infinitely worse. Like, it's like, oh, no. It's not even a medium Coke. We don't have Coke. It's medium Pepsi. It's like the Giants are the medium Pepsi of the NFL, to be honest. Like, it's the most ridiculous thing at this point.
I don't know. Okay, so for those people that aren't filled in, there's Sunday is the appreciation day for season ticket holders for the New York Giants, and their reward for spending all those thousands of dollars to watch the Giants this year, I'd have to watch through Mike Glennon and Jake Fromm and Benny Jones, is a medium soft drink. So there you go.
Don't ever change. Don't ever change, Mara family. Don't ever change.
It's absolutely fantastic. All right, let's talk about this game. But before we talk about the actual Cowboys offense against Giants defense and all that, a couple just news notes. First and foremost, Cedric Wilson tested negative again today for COVID, which means he's actually eligible to play on Sunday. We'll see if he does. The Cowboys, I believe, have a walkthrough on Friday. But it's a big deal to have him back, right?
I mean, it's simply a big deal right now that the Cowboys are able to be in the COVID clear, essentially, when in the middle of the NFL just absolutely being ravaged by Omicron right now. So, I mean, obviously we always hate having to veer off into COVID talk because we kind of want to be an oasis away from that, to not think about world troubles. But it's crazy how much this has started to hit the NFL. And the other thing that's really interesting is that you start to hear people suggest more seriously about like there being a delay in time, trying to postpone games and everything for competitive balance. But it's like the cat's already out of the bag here, man. I mean, there's been already so many teams that have dealt with COVID situations that they kind of just have to finish this up. And they're only a couple of weeks out away from the end of the season. I
did see Jerry Jones talk about today that maybe they're talking about only testing symptomatic people going forward?
If they're vaccinated. Yeah. If you're vaccinated, only testing you if you have symptoms. So
interesting.
I mean, it's
I wonder if they won't do that until they get to the playoffs. And
maybe
because I'm thinking they're going to want to make sure that we have healthy guys. Let me say that. They're going to want to make sure they have their superstars to the playoffs is my guess.
Yeah, and they're doing some other things too, like they're removing the restrictions on how many times you can call up a player from your practice squad. I think this to kind of alleviate situations like this, which means a lot for a guy like Justin Hamilton, who got re-signed to the practice squad this week. I think he had used up his eligibility, if I'm not mistaken. That's
probably why the Cowboys had to release him. Yep.
Yeah, so the fact that they were able to re-sign him and kind of get more eligibility for him to actually come up and take some snaps while being on the practice squad is a huge bonus for the Cowboys, at least.
One other thing that's not official yet, but it does seem like we're trending in this direction, is it seems like Connor Williams might be going back to left guard as a starter. Connor McGovern back to a reserve role, maybe some more fullback. You and I have been talking about this the last couple of weeks, and I know your thoughts here, but it does sound like this is the right move, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's smart, and I commend the Cowboys for their ability to kind of see that something's not working and not being kind of dumbheaded about it and putting their head down and just kind of continuing through. I I'm not going to talk out of both sides of my mouth, though it may seem that way. I am a little concerned about all the changes happening on the offensive line this week because you're changing basically the
Two
entire
starters.
left side of your offensive line who started from the previous week. I think obviously one is a necessity because of an injury, and the other one is an improvement based on play this season. So I'm less, I'm overall happy about it, but I would say that for this week, it does present a not a problem, but I think something to keep an eye on if the game starts going poorly on the left side of the offensive line.
And it's not going to be fair one way or the other to say, the Cowboys rushing game approved that they do run the ball well in this one because there's Connor Williams back. Or if they struggle, hey, Connor Williams is back. He didn't solve everything. Not having Tyron's obviously a big deal. There's going to take a couple of weeks before they kind of gel. My guess is, do you think we see Tyron at any point in the regular season again?
I don't know. I really don't have a sense for exactly how much he re-injured it. I mean, the fact that he was just they're having him walk around, during the game and stuff. I mean, it makes me feel like, yes, they're going to, I mean, to get to your point, yes, I think they're going to be safe with him. I think that they're definitely not going to try to rush him back.
I don't think
he's
able to clinch a game and be back next week against Washington.
No, not necessarily. And I think even if he was able to, maybe they wouldn't put him back into the game and watch, especially if the Cowboys win against the Giants and are able to clinch the division. That very well, we'll see exactly how the rest of the Sunday games play out. And if, things kind of line up even more for the Cowboys to have an opportunity to improve their seeding. But if they don't, and the Cowboys clinch and you're kind of, assumed the fourth seed, you could start seeing some Cowboys, and I would say Tyron Smith would definitely be top of this list. You could see some Cowboys being shut down for maybe the rest of the regular season, or at least until they're a little healthier to kind of get on the field and play, just to kind of load management them for the postseason.
You do wonder which guys they would consider resting. Like, I think Tyron's obviously an easy answer, but like DeMarcus Lawrence, or do you want him to kind of work off some of the rust? We'll see. I know he has another foot injury that he's dealing with. Sounds like he's still going to play this week. Ezekiel Elliott, like that'd be a great one. Like if you could just give Zeke like week 18 and not have to play him, even 1 week off, I think would really help him in the playoffs. Anybody else comes to mind really quickly? Dak?
If you could afford it, and maybe this is not the worst thing, Zach Martin. I think Zach Martin.
Or maybe
we don't talk about it.
Yeah, maybe you have him play like a couple series to just get him into that routine, like in the last couple of games, and then move him out, and you play Connor McGovern there.
Yeah, it's just because we don't talk about it, but Zach Martin got hurt, 2 or 3 games ago, and has just been gutting through it essentially. Yeah. And I think giving him a little bit of time off, even if it's half a game, like you said, have him practice throughout the week like he's the starter, get into the routine, gets a series in, and then you let Connor McGovern finish the game at right guard. I don't think that's the worst idea, just simply for an offensive line that could get a little bit healthier going into the playoffs.
All right, let's take a quick break so I can tell you guys about On Location. Super Bowl 56 at SoFi is less than 100 days away. And On Location, the official hospitality partner of the NFL, is the only place to score a once-in-a-lifetime Super Bowl ticket and experience package. Select your exact seats and choose from elite experiences featuring an exclusive pregame celebration with NFL legends, 5-star LA hotels, and food by the great Wolfgang Puck. Visit onlocationexp.com/SB56 for more information, or search Super Bowl On Location. That is onlocation.com/SB56. Also, I want to tell you guys about Stat Hero. No one plays daily fantasy sports to lose. Winning just feels so much better. But traditional fantasy sports are a long-term losing proposition because you never know who or what you're up against. Stat Hero is the first of its kind daily fantasy sports platform where it's you versus the house in a head-to-head fantasy matchup. Winner takes all. And here's the crazy part. Stat Hero even shows you their lineups before you play, and you handpick the team that you want to face one-on-one. This never-before-seen innovation of a fantasy sports and sports betting hybrid has Stat Hero players clocking odds that are 4 times better than usual. And why is that? Because you don't have to compete against thousands of experts or unknowns. Stat Hero puts you in control of your fate. With Stat Hero, you're in control of the stakes. You get to decide how much you're going to play for, and Stat Hero has no choice but to take it because they are daring you to beat them. Stat Hero head-to-head is what daily fantasy should be, one-on-one. Sign up for free right now at stathero.com/lockedon and use promo code LOCKEDON for a 100% deposit match. That is stathero.com/lockedon and then use promo code LOCKEDON for a 100% match. stathero.com. All right, let's talk about the Cowboys offense against this Giants defense. It does seem like the Giants are actually going to be getting back Leonard Williams, who they thought they were going to lose for the season due to an elbow injury. Sounds like he's going to play. Secondary is not quite as in good shape. Adoree Jackson, their number 2 corner, out for this game due to COVID and a thigh injury. Aaron Robinson, one of their nickel corners, out in this game. How do you anticipate the Cowboys attacking this Giants defense?
Well, I think we got to talk about the kind of the elephant in the room is that the Cowboys, they need to do more than just win this game. One of the bigger goals that they have to have going into this game is getting their offense right, and getting it back in sync and kind of getting it to a point where they can play with a level of confidence again. So I think that they will take advantage of the defensive back situation. They want to get back to running the football. There's no way around that. They need to be able to run the football in the playoffs to have some success. And especially if teams are going to try to play some of the shell coverage, you need to get back to being able to be punishing teams in the run game in order to kind of get them out of that. So I definitely would look for the run game to be featured at certain points. But I think that when you look at the way the defensive backfield is for the Giants, especially if they're going to end up missing Xavier McKinney. I actually haven't heard the latest on him, but it just seems like there's lots of opportunity for the Cowboys to kind of get right against the Giants that right now are really kind of struggling with in the health department, especially in the defensive backfield.
They still have James Bradbury, who's a really good corner. They have Logan Ryan, who can play in the slot, but without McKinney, he's been one of their better safeties this year. They're already losing. They don't have Jabril Peppers for the season. It's a pretty depleted backfield. It looks like I'm looking right now at the latest stuff. Yeah, Adoree Jackson, Aaron Robinson, and McKinney look like they're all out this week. So it's not great. It's not great of the Giants. Yeah. How do you think about the Cowboys? Or what do you think about the Cowboys' offensive line in this game? Do you think Terrence Steele is going to be able to hold up at left tackle?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a difficult day for him. He has struggled at left tackle. I mean, I think it's always better that he's gotten a week of practice. I think what we saw last week is I actually don't know that he's a very good swing tackle, because I think the problem is that when we've seen him inserted into games on short notice, he struggles. And he struggled last week. I actually thought that Ty Nsekhe played better than he did when he was inserted into the lineup. So I think that, with a week of practice, with a game plan that includes, getting him some help when they need it, I think he should hold up fine. This isn't exactly the kind of lineup that can really exploit Terrence Steele terribly well. There you have some big power players that you hope that Terrence can kind of go toe-to-toe with them. Azeez Ojulari is definitely a guy that's kind of more twitchy, that you think that maybe can get around. Carter is a guy that potentially could, but they're not exactly elite pass rushers at this point. So you hope that with some assistance either from Zeke or from a tight end, and just, very few instances where you have him in a, singled up with these guys, I think he should be able to get through the game. And again, if they rely on the run game a lot, Terrence Steele is very adept there, and he can move bodies off the ball. So I trust that he'll be able to execute that part. I just think that when it comes to the passing game, they'll just give him a little bit of help. Dak will be aware that, he's got Terrence and not Tyron over there. And maybe more quick passing, more trying to get the ball out quickly. I think that they need to do a little bit of that anyways, just to kind of get this team back in a rhythm, back into a spot where they're comfortable. And I think that one of the things that Dak always seems comfortable doing is kind of the 2-minute quick game and
a little bit of hurry
offense.
up, right?
Yeah, just a little bit of pace kind of always seems to put him a little bit more at ease. He gets through the reads quickly. It's just kind of an automatic situation. I think it just makes it warms him up in a way that allows him to function better when he has to operate out of structure a little bit later in the game.
All right. I've got I want to talk about the linebackers here because it seems like we talk about this every week, Landon. I'm starting to change my philosophy on linebackers. So, as you know, I own the website runningbacksdon'tmatter.com and linebackersdon'tmatter.com. And every week we come on the show and we talk about the Cowboys should be able to expose these linebackers. They're just not very good. I think across the NFL, the linebacker play is awful. And it's almost the opposite of running back. Like, I'm not sure linebackers matter that much, but there's not a ton of really good linebackers in the NFL like there are running backs. So if you have a couple good ones, you are in a unique situation. The Giants don't have them. It's Tay Crowder and it's Reggie Ragland in this game. Do we think this is the game where the Cowboys can finally expose a bad linebacking core?
I think that I don't know that it's like a dearth of talent situation with the linebackers in the NFL. I think it's more that modern offenses expose linebackers more than they have in the past. It's
because a guy like Reggie Ragland 10 years ago was fine, right? Big thumping really two down linebacker. You could live with that guy. Now it's really hard to play with him in space, right?
With play action, with motion, with shifts, you're constantly messing with linebackers' cues. You're messing with their reads. You're putting them in conflict via RPOs, via constraints. It's just playing linebacker in the NFL is very difficult because, I mean, as someone who played linebacker in high school and anybody who's played linebacker at any level, one of the first things they teach you is your cues, and you're supposed to be watching the lineman's feet, and then that leads your eyes to the next thing that kind of leads you to the next thing, which tells you what the play is and how to react. Offenses clearly are cueing into that and messing with those reads, and it's made linebacker play very difficult. So but kind of going back to the more specific point, I do think that, this is a week where the Cowboys need to take advantage of those linebackers. They need to get Schultz back involved in this offense more, which I thought was a problem last week. They tried to at different points, including, the pick six, where it was just kind of a late and bad throw by Dak. But I think that you need to kind of remarry the run game with the play action pass game. Not that play action pass requires a solid run game, but I think that in the way that this offense runs, it helps the run game when they get oversold on the outside zone. They're over rushing to the outside zone, and then suddenly Dak pops out the back end, throws it to the tight end who's coming across the field for 10 or 15 yards. Suddenly now, you're not having, after that play, you're not having the backside defensive end crash down as hard. So that's the other side of it that we don't talk about enough, is that how the play action pass actually helps the run game. And when neither are working, you don't have to respect the play action pass, and teams can continue to just crash down and stop the run game because they're not worried about it. So I think the Cowboys need to find a way to get their tight ends more involved. They need to expose these linebackers a little bit more because there's hay to be made there. And also because I think it will help kind of put their offense back on track by getting their kind of bread and butter outside zone married with bootleg passes back in on track, and that'll kind of help stabilize everything else.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, where have all the bootlegs to Schultz go, where you're throwing the ball 1 yard down the field and he turns it into an 8-yard gain on first down? Like that, those are the kind of first down plays this team really needs. It's just to get you some positive momentum, so you're not playing in 2nd and 9, 2nd and 8 every single time. I'd like to see more of Schultz kind of on the move, because that's where he's really good. Like, he's one of the better tight ends in the league when he's, making plays after the catch. So I'm hoping that we see more of him in this game.
We talked about the problem with last week about how it felt like all the really terrible plays that happened for the Cowboys offense seemingly happened on 2nd and 10, and that there was a ton of 2nd and 10 plays. That wasn't always because they ran the ball and they didn't get anything. There was definitely a lot of times when they were throwing the ball and then not completing the passes. So, and I think part of the issue is that, I'm very much for throwing the ball on first down. I think the problem is that you can't only take deep shots on first down because they're low percentage passes. You end up putting yourself into a spot that's really just as bad as why we complain about running the football on first down, right? It puts you in a disadvantageous behind the sticks situation. So throwing the ball deep on first down is good. I just think that you shouldn't do it every single first down, and that your passing game on first down can't only be D shots. I think we need to see more of what you just talked about. Efficient short passes that put you in good down and distances. That gives you the opportunity to open the playbook up on second and short, second and 4 or 5. That's when you take your shots. That's when you kind of attack. And then if you get into 3rd and 5, that's a lot more manageable than suddenly being in 3rd and 8 because you went incomplete pass, 2-yard run, and then suddenly you're in a 3rd and long situation.
Exactly. All right, let's take one more quick break so I can tell you guys about BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered all season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before as football season continues to march to the playoffs. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all the sports action this season. Head to the new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use promo code LOCKEDON to receive your bonus from basketball, football, NHL, boxing, and UFC right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. We also want to tell you guys about Built Bar. This holiday season, grab the protein bar that tastes just like a candy bar, or even better than a candy bar, Built Bar. Filled with so much holiday goodness, rich with great flavor, covered in chocolate, but amazingly low in calories, sugar, net carbs, and fat, and high in protein. You get the best of both worlds, delicious and healthy. There's so many great flavors: raspberry, mint brownie, cherry, double chocolate, cookies and cream, peanut butter brownie. Built Bar gives you that extra fuel you need to bust down those mall doors, which I'll be doing next week, and battle all the holiday shoppers. Or if you're just standing in endless shopping lines, Built Bar can give you that extra something you need to keep going. Go to BuiltBar.com and use promo code LOCK15, and you'll get 15% off your next order. Use promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at BuiltBar.com.
Pretty great stocking stuffer too. Honestly.
Oh yeah,
wow. They slide right in there. It's great.
Don't think I haven't already thought about that. Let's talk about the Cowboys defense against the Giants offense. This should be a big mismatch for the Cowboys. And every time I say that, something weird happens. Mike Glennon's going to go off. No, it is going to be Mike Glennon at quarterback with maybe some Jake Fromm sprinkled in, it seems like. What are your thoughts on this one?
I mean, look, we don't want to get overconfident, and we don't want to be, we don't want to set
the game. Why can't we be overconfident?
I guess so, but you don't want to like oversell it and then like have to come back on the other side of a bad Sunday game with your tail between your legs.
They have playmakers, right? Like Kenny Galladay's good. I think Sterling Shepard's a really nice slot receiver. Saquon Barkley is at least a little bit healthier than he was when last time we played him. Like they have players.
Yeah. I noticed that you didn't mention anybody on the offensive line there. and I think that's really the issue, right? Is that they never resolved this offensive line. Andrew Thomas has played better football, but he's still really hurt. Nate Solder is still playing football. And the guys on the offensive line interior for the guys on the offensive line interior, they may as well be substituted with trash cans filled with dirt. So I would say, that's really where the problem's going to be for Glennon, right? Is that, they're going to struggle to run the ball. They will run the ball, and I think they will have some success because Saquon Barkley is a very talented running back. There will be 2 or 3 plays where he makes something out of nothing, right?
Yep.
But there's only so much you can do when you have a weakened offensive line in the run game. And then in the pass game, I mean, it's still Mike Glennon playing quarterback. He's not going to have a ton of time.
One of the slowest internal clocks in the league, which brings me to this
question. Is a terrible combination for who he's facing this week, I guess, is what we're getting at.
I'm of the belief that you don't blitz him a lot this week.
Why would you need to?
That's kind of the point, right? Now, if you want to blitz 5 and do some stunts and stuff, I get that.
I don't view 5-man as a blitz.
I'm saying more than that. Like I don't think you need to do more than that.
I think it's six or plus is a blitz. And if you want to line up 5-0 like they have been and make these guys do 1-on-1s and then just twist them up, I just don't see Will Hernandez picking up that block as Micah Parsons comes screaming back inside from the outside on a twist. I just think that, and like I said, it's just a bad combination for the Giants. They've got a bad offensive line and a quarterback that struggles to get through his progressions to get rid of the ball. And they're facing a defense that is suddenly coming into their own as one of the best pass rushing defensive lines in football now that they have their full complement of players. So I just think it's going to be very difficult for the Giants to score points. They may get some yards. They may get a big play here and there because that's what happens. They're still NFL players. They have talent on that side of the ball. But as far as consistently moving the ball, I imagine it will be closer to what we saw with Washington last week than what the Giants would have you believe.
Yeah, I think Dallas would be wise to just four-man rush in this game and just tackle because I don't see them hitting big plays. I just don't.
Yeah. They're very outmatched, to say the least. And I think if the Cowboys defense just plays up to their ability, they don't need to do anything special. Just play up to their ability, play this team very straightforward. Your talent will shine through. Glennon is not quite the guy that wants to give the ball away like Heineke does, in the sense that he's not going to throw a ball that's going to take 15 minutes to get to the receiver, but he will take a bunch of hits. And there could still be likelihoods of sack strips, fumbles, that sort of thing. So I just imagine Mike Glennon's neck being about 4 inches longer than it is before the game started. After the Cowboys are done with him.
Just want to give this little tidbit from the Giants. So Saquon Barkley scored a garbage time touchdown last week against the Chargers with 30 seconds left. Before that, Landon, here are all the Giants who have scored a touchdown in their last 4 games. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Elijah Penny, fullback, Andrew Thomas, Chris Myrick. That's the complete list.
Thomas got it on a deflected pass, right? He caught it in the end zone or something?
They ran a basically jumbo at the goal line, and they threw the ball. The ball was terribly thrown. He made a great catch. So you have your fullback, your left tackle, and a guy that I've never heard, Chris Myrick. That's who scored a touchdown in the last 4 games.
Yeah, I mean they are really struggling. They're facing a defense that's really hot right now. Everything points towards this being at least this side of the ball being a very one-sided affair.
Not including, let's say, garbage time or any offense. If the Cowboys turn the ball on offense and the Giants score, what is the amount of points that the Cowboys would have to give up for you to be disappointed in their performance? Is it like 20?
Yeah, if the Cowboys defense gave up 21 points to this offense, they should be 3 touchdowns. That's not good. I mean, I'm not worried about it, but it's like,
well, and here's the thing: the Cowboys, including DeMarcus Lawrence and Randy Gregory, over the last couple of days, they've said this is one of the best defenses in football. We're going to be a top 5 unit. If that's the case, and you believe that, and I think they have the potential to be, these are the games that you basically win by yourself, right? You don't allow the Giants to get a garbage time touchdown. You don't allow them to have a long drive where they, 7 plays, 75 yards, a touchdown, none of that kind of stuff, right? You got to dominate. And I think they can. We'll see if they do it.
Yeah, I agree. This is a situation where it's very clear that the Cowboys are more talented on this side of the ball. Yep. It's time for this defense to show that, when they are supposed to show that and not kind of make excuses or fumble the ball, as it were. They need to be reliable and they need to be, able to be counted on when there's less talent, that they can show out and enforce their will.
All right, really quickly to head out the show. Predictions. Who do you got?
I have the Cowboys. I'm picking. I think I picked on WFA 24-10. I know it's a 10.5 point line. I really think that the Cowboys, this could easily be a trap game. Where you've got a clearly team that's less talented than you are. They're beat up in a way that you are certainly not. There is a lot that could be overlooked in this game, but the problem for the Giants is this is a division game. This is a game that if the Cowboys win, they clinch the playoffs. And maybe even worse for them on all of this is that The Cowboys are pissed off despite the fact that they've won their last 2 games because their offense has not played the way that it's supposed to, and they know they need to get right. So this is not a week where the Cowboys took some time off or took it easy. If anything, they bear down even harder to kind of get right on offense. And to me, that means that there isn't going to be the kind of lull that you normally would get with a lesser team. The Cowboys are going to come out wanting to score points. And honestly, they may still be pissed off at the Giants for what happened last year with Dak's injury. They still feel like that was a cheap shot. There's just a lot of reasons why the Cowboys are not going to overlook this game. And when you consider that plus the talent disparity, I think the Cowboys win by more than 1 touchdown.
It is the 3rd straight road game for the Cowboys. They've got injuries at left tackle, new left guard. So I'm picking the Giants this week, Landon. Wink,
gotcha.
wink. If you're listening to
for the audio podcast listeners, they completely missed the winking that was going on. I feel for you, so I'm just going to go.
Listen, I'm just trying to do my part. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely.
This should be a game the Cowboys win by double digits. If they don't, I think that's concerning.
Absolutely.
But we'll talk about that on Sunday night. So we want to encourage you guys to come back and listen to our post-game show Sunday night, Monday morning. It'll be out. So keep an eye out for that. Follow Landon on Twitter at McCool BCB. I am at Marcus _Mosher. Enjoy week 15. We'll see you guys next time.